Good morning everybody, welcome to Long Eaton. Please excuse my dodgy throat, I've had a horrible cough.
Good morning! It's a Saturday morning, it means it's time for... a cold park run this morning. Where are we?
Long Eaton.
Yeah, and we're here to join somebody who's doing their what, Iona?
Second.
It's the second person ever to do 250 parkruns at
250 locations.
Yeah, is that your target? That's what you want to be. You've got a little bit further to go there yet.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to celebrating with him. But first, it's apparently the flattest parkrun in the Midlands.
I don't think it.
But apparently today it has also got a lake on the course, so we could get a bit wet feet by the end, couldn't we?
I don't think it is going to be the flattest.
You don't think it's going to be the flattest? Right, well,
Or are they not in the same Midlands?
we've been briefed, so we go and find the start. Let's go.
As I'm sure you will all be aware by now, we are back on our normal course. So that will be 2 laps of the park. Just remember, at the far end at Dee's Corner, there is a bit of a puddle for you to negotiate. It is nowhere near as bad as Christmas Day. Just try not to lose your mobile phone in it like I did that day. So on 250, his 250 unique park run is Brian.
Hey!
And then we're slightly used by a 350th to Charlotte. 3, 2, 1, go!
We're off on Long Eaton Parkrun. The shout out has been done for the 250 at 250. Are you any warmed up yet, Iona? Not warmed up. It's a bit chilly out today. But apparently, we've been reminded again this is a flat course, so we'll see how we do. Thank you, Marshall. Well, this certainly is a very flat course. Views all over the park, spread out round us, over to the power station, over the far side as well. So we're on to the other loop of the figure of 8 course, and interestingly, this parkrun has got some of the best parkrun signage I think I've ever seen anywhere. Permanent official signs with the kilometre markings, the start. It's just amazing. I've never seen anything quite like it. So that's quite cool. Come here and do a freedom run anytime, and all the markings are there for you. We have spotted the lake up ahead. Now the question is, Iona thinks we can avoid it. I've got my waterproof socks on, so I want to try them out and go through it. We shall see when we get there. So we've got here, it is possible to go around, but what would be the fun in that? It's time to get wet feet. And the fast runner has just come through. He went straight through the puddle as well. No beating about the bush for him. Which way did you go, Iona?
Around. Maybe on the second lap.
So the puddle has also marked the 1 mile point, which means, do I let Iona have a sweet despite not going through the puddle? I think so.
Got a coat.
There is a playground here, Iona. Is it playground weather?
I don't know, because I didn't see the towel on.
No, I don't think I did.
Dad,
And it's a bit cold and wet as well this morning, isn't it? More of the faster runners are coming through now, speeding along. Their pace is incredible. And they make it look so effortless. I love it. Thank you, Marshall. We're just coming in for the last bit of the second of the figure of 8. So joined the first loop, as it were, back to complete the figure of 8. And then we get to do the whole thing again. So we've just passed the finish line, which all looks very official here with the signage and even the line drawn across the pavement in paint. Go around again. I'm loving all the official signs and markers to make sure you know where you're going on this course. And I don't think I've ever heard of so many defibs on the course either. 4 defibs. So if you're a bit worried about your heart, this is the parkrun to come and do. We've just passed the 3-kilometre sign. We're carrying on round the park. Thank you, Marshall. There's lots of water. If you're here playing football or rugby, it would be a very muddy and wet rugby and football game at the moment. You can see the start over the other side and all the people have finished. And we're just about to go to the section of the other part of the figure of 8. So we just passed the 2-mile marker. Guess what that means? It's Haribo time! So Iona has been telling me all about her plans for life, which involve a van, a small dog, and travelling the world. And apparently no husband, because they're just trouble. So we'll see what happens in the future. We're just coming up to the 40-minute pacer. So let's see if we can get past them and get some 40 time for Iona today. High 5 time, Iona.
Woo! Off you go, well done.
Lovely seeing the blossom and the daffodils out, the signs of spring today. Fantastic old industrial building just by the side of the route here as well. It's a water splash time again. This time Iona says she's going to go for it and go through the water. Time for wet feet. So Iona, what was that like?
It feels so weird.
Can you feel squelch in your feet?
Oh, that's the one!
So it is. Come on then. And he's off. He's determined for us not to catch him. A lovely little stream to run by, which is rather full at the moment. And past the bandstands and the playgrounds again. What do you reckon to this playground if you were to do it, Iona? Probably a 5. It's a 5er. Oh, I like as a parent, it's got a nice area for sitting in the dry. Just coming up towards the bridge, which we cross over to finish the other half of the figure of 8. And then we're done. So not far to go now at all. Super zoom. Thank you guys.
I'm 400!
Are you?
Exactly!
Cool.
Said she was so young
Yeah.
at the 100 but now chasing 122. Oh, it's amazing.
Our parkrun's complete, but we are not going to go to the parkrun here at the finish. There is a parkrun deal for a cob and hot drink for £3.50, so it is a bargain. But we headed back to Rushcliffe Parkrun, to the Heritage Railway Centre there, because we'd been to the cafe here before, and I really enjoyed the full breakfast here, so thought we'd pop back and come and do this breakfast here, and maybe have a little explore and see if anything's going on as well. Well, we have just found some activity happening here, some steam traction engines just busting up, but I thought I ought to get a breakfast rating off Iona before we do. Iona, how was your breakfast this morning?
5.
A 5. Do you enjoy it, did you? What did you have?
Sausage and egg back.
Was it delicious?
And hash brown.
And an extra bonus hash
And
brown.
some mushrooms off you.
Yeah.
Yum, yum.
Cool.
Almost
So,
a full breakfast.
a little nose round the Heritage Centre here, but this isn't our bit of heritage today. As soon as we've finished here, we're heading off to do our combined Parkrun and National Trust together, aren't we, Iona?
No mummy though.
No mummy, because mummy's not very well at the moment, so. But we will take lots of pictures to share with her, won't we? Right, let's have a look at these steam traction engines before getting back in the car and heading down to the National Trust property.
I'm going to make a National Trust album for my phone.
Cool.
Because I think I'm probably going to get loads of photos.
So we have arrived at Stoneywell National Trust property. It's an arts and crafts house and we are here to explore. We had to park a little railway. There's nowhere to park at the site itself, so there's a car park, a little railway, and we got a little ride up in a minibus with a little guided tour as we were driving up here from the driver telling us about some of the houses built locally that were built by the same family. So go and explore, see what they've got here. So we are now inside the house at Stoneywell. It is a beautiful house. So it's arts and crafts movement. Now, if you didn't know about that properly, which I didn't when I got here, I did ask one of the National Trust guides. Love them. They tell you so much about the places you're visiting. Always really friendly and helpful. But apparently this was an era after the Industrial Revolution, before the First World War. There was a bit of reaction against the Industrial Revolution. Everybody sort of worked creating homogenised stuff in factories, to making something from scratch, designing it, making it with your own hands. And that's the arts and crafts movement. And this house is built in that era and it's about celebrating hand craftsmanship. It's built into the rocks of the hillside, so it's really unusually shaped, little stairways to get upstairs. Beautiful log fire with a lovely little nook that Iona could just imagine sitting and reading in, or maybe looking out the window and painting through what she can see of the view, which reminds me, to be honest, of the Lake District of Scotland, the heather and the gorse, and just beautiful views out of the little windows that there are around the property. But wow, this is definitely a different National Trust property, not your big stately homes, something very different. Just loving all the little nooks and crannies of this house because of the nature of being built into the hillside. It's just all unusual angles, little windows, things to peer out at. In the garden, from the view from here, we could see the well down at the bottom where they'd have had to have gone in the morning to bring up the buckets of water that they needed for the day. I think there's mains water now, so we're okay. We're in the playroom right now and been playing with the railway on the floor. Actually working, so you can actually see these engines going round and round. Loving up here as well, we have some farm animals positioned along the beam for us to see as we're coming down the steps into this room. None of it's on level, so every room we're going up some steps, down some steps, exploring all the way. Iona, what do you think of this house?
I like it.
What's been the best bit so far?
Taking little photos.
You enjoyed taking little photos of all the quirky little things to see. What about that space by the fire? Do you need one of those in our house, do you? A little nook that you could just hide yourself in to read a book. Have you just spotted those books on the shelves there? Do you see what they are? It's the Swallows and Amazons books, the same ones as I've got.
Floor's wet.
Being damp.
Maybe that's why the ducks are here.
Yeah, they're paddling in the pool. We've left the house now and we're going to explore the gardens a bit, which we could see glimpses of while we're wandering around the house through the windows. So I'm quite keen to explore. They look beautiful. Apparently, if you come here in April, May time, you get all the daffodils, and then you'll get some of the rhododendrons, and just, yeah, be a fabulous show of flowers, I think, a bit later in the year. But it's beautiful right now as well, and slightly more wildness. We have had a lovely time exploring the garden. It's really, again, just like the house, all over the place, lots of little nooks and crannies, little sort of alleyways through the trees to explore. Ewan thinks I've got autopilot though, because we have ended up right at the tea room having explored the garden completely accidentally. I think so. I don't think my mind does it on autopilot, but I think it is time for a coffee. We've come and are enjoying for me, the National Trust staple, a scone, though I have gone for a cheese scone rather than jam and cream. And a black coffee. Lovely little spot to enjoy our coffee in as well. Lots of books around me while I'm eating and drinking, which could be dangerous. Will I walk out with a book or two as well? We have just made our way up the little hill beside the house to the fort. Apparently this is that we're on top of now. Basically a rocky outcrop with a little building on top. But beautiful view over the hills and so on from here.
Stoneywell Wood.
So we're just having a little explore of the woods on the other side of the house from the fort. I love these woods. Tangled old woodland to explore. So we're back at the hut at the car park, having been brought back by the minibus, aren't we, Iona? What do you reckon to today's National Trust property?
Really good.
What did you enjoy today?
I enjoyed the nooks and crannies.
I loved the forest and the gardens as well. I felt like, especially when the rain came in, which I know normally wouldn't be the best, but it felt a bit like I was in Scotland. The wild weather and the heather around me. Perfect.
Not as wild as Scotland.
Not quite as wild as Scotland, no. But definitely worth visiting if you're nearby. There's plenty of parkruns near here as well, so you could do a parkrun in the morning and then come to Stoneywell in the afternoon. Perfect. One thing to note, you do need to book in advance. You can't just turn up here. Relatively small properties, so they need to limit the numbers that can be here at any one time. So I hope you've enjoyed today's little adventure. If you have, then what do you need to do, Iona?
Like and subscribe.
And we will see you on another little adventure soon. Bye!